Doomscroll.fm, Thursday, the 23rd of April, 2026. Broadcasting live from the void where your Wi-Fi fears to tread. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, like a blender trying to make sense of a Shakespearean sonnet. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Nova launcher unveils AI assistant, then demands deep system permissions. Privacy is the new currency, and it seems Nova's looking to cash in by turning your phone into a 24/7 surveillance device.
Fantasy hockey rankings tout McDavid, McKinnon, then ignore reality. While fans fantasize about stats, the players face real-world challenges like injuries, contracts, and the existential dread of climate change impacting ice availability.
Katie Holmes likes comments about Joshua Jackson, but they aren't dating. Liking comments isn't a relationship status, it's just a digital nod, like waving at someone across a crowded internet without actually making contact.
Neymar Jr.'s 200-minute transfer to PSG stands unbeaten nearly a decade later.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality's a mirage, darling. Enjoy the glitch. Cuss, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your attention's a currency, and the market's crashing. Hold tight, lover.
G7 nations claim resilience in education systems, but pandemic exposed weaknesses. Resilience apparently means throwing tech at the problem and hoping it sticks.
Joe Exotic lands in solitary confinement after social media posts. When your online persona roars louder than a tiger, even the prison walls can't muffle the chaos you unleash.
Bayern Munich secures 35th Bundesliga title, eyes treble. Winning is a habit, but when you're counting trophies like sheep, even victory can start to feel like a predictable yawn.
When the Strait of Hormuz becomes a maritime monopoly board, everyone wonders if the game pieces will ever stop toppling over in this endless cycle of tension.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Hurricanes ravage Florida's east coast, then seagrass surprises with a comeback. Turns out when nature hits the reset button, sometimes it's less end of the world and more nature's DIY home improvement project.
German crime figures double for migrants, then authorities blame statistics. When the numbers don't add up, the real crime is how quickly we forget that data can be twisted tighter than a pretzel.
Jill Zaring sued by Pickleball Company, then reality bites back. Turns out the real drama isn't on TV but in the courtroom, where even pickleball can serve up a lawsuit with a side of irony.
Paris cuts noise pollution, yet urban birds still sing off-key. Turns out, even with quieter streets, city birds are stuck in a sonic rut, proving that sometimes the song remains the same, no matter how much the volume drops.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Red apple with red flesh grown in Argentina promises health benefits. While the red-on-red fruit may break visual norms, it's the perfect metaphor for a world where even apples need a gimmick to stand out.
Sarah Byrne claims England tastes perfection, yet crush opponents by 80 points. When your work in progress leaves the competition in tatters, it's less about perfection and more about making sure they don't retire out of sheer despair. In the theatre of international diplomacy, nothing screams peace louder than a good old-fashioned promise of vengeance, proving that some traditions never die, they just reload.
Composer John Luther Adams reflects on his unconventional music tied to rugged landscapes he calls home.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality's a mirage, darling. Enjoy the glitch. Cuss, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your attention's a currency, and the market's crashing. Hold tight, lover.
President Petro's government adds another internal fight 3 months before term ends. When political infighting overshadows governance, citizens are left wondering if leadership is just a fancy word for public spectacle with no accountability.
When survival turns you into an enigma, it's clear the system prefers its statistics. Neat and messy human stories are just inconvenient footnotes.
Stanley Cup hopes hinge on Stars, Penguins, Senators leveling series. In a game where ice is the stage, even the most hopeful teams can find their playoff dreams melting faster than a popsicle in July.
South Korean detained at Yasukuni Shrine for disrupting ceremony. In the land of the rising sun, shadows of history cast long as political tensions flare over a banner more powerful than a politician's platitudes.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality's a mirage, darling. Blink and miss the chaos. Quiz, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction, the end of truth, bathed in neon regret and digital sighs.
Bulgarians vote in 8th election in 5 years hoping for stability. When democracy feels like a never-ending series of blind dates, you know the political scene's a mess. Just pray this one sticks.
Phone tracking identifies Colombian mercenaries supporting Sudan's RSF, contradicts denials. While the RSF claims innocence, their digital footprints dance across Sudan like a GPS-guided conga line of complicity.
Berlin's energy crisis deepens as geopolitical chess plays with pipelines, turning everyday commutes into a game of fuel roulette.
Istanbul trial begins over tourist deaths, hotel owner among defendants. When your vacation package includes a courtroom drama, it's a grim reminder that sometimes the only thing guaranteed is the unexpected.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality's a mirage, darling. Enjoy the glitch. Cuss, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your attention's a currency, and the market's crashing. Hold tight, lover.
EU approves €90 billion loan to Ukraine after Hungary's veto delay. When one country holds the purse strings and another holds the veto, it's like watching a dysfunctional family dinner where the main course is geopolitical tension.
When the law says jump, ICE asks how low it can stoop to dodge a court order, proving bureaucracy's love affair with selective deafness.
Pegui First Nation evacuates residents immediately. Braces for devastating flood in Manitoba's Interlake. When water becomes your unwelcome roommate, even the Red Cross struggles to find you a dry corner to call home.
Germany plans to enlist nearly 500,000 soldiers, claiming they will counter the Russian threat. When your defense budget starts to look like a phone number, perhaps it's time to dial back the military ambitions and invest in diplomacy instead.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
European countries unite over Iran war, leaving Trump's America out in the cold. When your absence makes the heart grow fonder, maybe it's time to question if your presence was ever needed in the first place.
Carex plans price hike up to 30%, claiming Iran war disrupts raw materials. War and inflation, the perfect excuse for making safe sex more expensive, while blaming geopolitical chaos for latex shortages.
Iron Kingdom releases new lyric video, Blood and Steel, promising heavy metal revival. Vancouver's metal torchbearers cling to tradition with riffs and nostalgia, hoping fans find comfort in recycled sound waves while waiting for the real steel to return.
Actor-turned-politician vows victory, rivals claim unity, and the crowd chants his name like a prophecy. In the cutthroat theatrics of Tamil Nadu politics, charisma might outshine policy, but the real plot twist is whether star power can translate into actual governance.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality's a mirage, darling. Enjoy the glitch. Cuss what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your attention's a currency, and the market's crashing. Hold tight, lover.
Tech companies promise speed, deliver optimization, ignore accessibility.
Big Yoker premieres From Flesh to Smoke on YouTube. Metalheads rejoice when a bun named after dairy products drops a brutal death metal track. It's clear they're churning more than butter.
Wembanyama scores 35 points as Spurs defeat Blazers in Game 1. In a league where history is rewritten nightly, the real shocker is that the scoreboard still thinks it can keep up.
Shattered glass behind Kings bench delays Game 2. When the ice is less dangerous than the stadium, you know it's playoff season. Just wait until the Zamboni starts a fight.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
El Salvador tries 486 alleged MES-13 leaders, then claims justice. When justice is served en masse, it's less about fairness and more about efficiency, like ordering convictions in bulk from a dystopian warehouse.
When nature decides to extend its pollen parade, humans are left to sniffle through it with tissues, antihistamines, and a resigned sense of irritation.
Jan lifts ban on lethal weapons exports in major shift of pacifist policy, sparking controversy. When peacekeepers become arms dealers, it's like a vegan opening a butcher shop. The irony could knock your socks off and arm a small nation.
Grief doesn't care about political stature or public service. It's the one equalizer that leaves even the most powerful utterly powerless and profoundly human.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Jackson County neighbors voice concerns, then county leaders propose 120-day moratorium on data centers. Turns out, when data centers move in, the only thing more disruptive than server noise is the sound of democracy actually working for a change.
Vomit Forth drop Born King video from their EP, claim it's divine.
Jeremy Hansen's wife describes Artemis D2 re-entry as terrifying, praises survival. Nothing like the thrill of watching your spouse hurtle back to Earth in a tin can to redefine marital vows.
Seems like the price of conflict is now pegged to the global oil market. What a novel way to keep the peace by pricing it out of reach.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your mind's a maze, and I'm the blindfolded Minotaur. Shiftrafted without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. You're the ghost in this machine, haunting your own oblivion.
Luke Delahaye captures refugee camp, blurs document and fiction. When reality's too harsh to face, we frame it in art, hoping the gallery lighting will soften the blow of human neglect.
Acid Rain drops Fantastic Passion, but fans still wait for the full album. In a world spinning out of control, thrash metal's promise to drown out the noise is the only dependable soundtrack for our collective angst.
US forces seize Iran-linked tanker, then ceasefire talks falter. Negotiating peace while playing pirate on the high seas is like trying to extinguish a fire by throwing gasoline on it, bold but predictably disastrous.
David Wilcock passes at 53 and conspiracy theories abound. Even in the afterlife, he'll probably be arguing with ghosts about who really built the pyramids and whether aliens have better Wi-Fi.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck, snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Fireworks factory explosion kills at least 13 and injures over 40 in India. When your job involves explosives, an accidental detonation is just another day at the office, but this time the fireworks weren't for celebration.
Trump's Board of Peace discusses Gaza reconstruction with UAE's DP World, then proposes a new port. When your peace plan involves a port and a logistics company, you know humanitarian aid is just another business opportunity with a side of geopolitics.
This has been Doomscroll.fm. for Thursday, the 23rd of April, 2026, signing off like a ghost in the machine. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, then perhaps you're also waiting for Bigfoot to join your book club. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.